All right, so Slammiversary is this coming Saturday, July 18th, from Impact Wrestling. So they are going to have their pay-per-view. So I decided to do a video of kind of like a collection of my Slammiversary DVDs that I have. So I do not have all the Slammiversary DVDs. I have about, let's see, one, two, three, four in my wrestling DVD collection. So I just wanted to do a quick, I guess, like talking about these DVDs. So Slammiversary is, I guess, one of their main shows. If you can compare like Bound for Glory is like their WrestleMania, I always see like Slammiversary is kind of like their SummerSlam. It's their anniversary show. I guess TNA started back in like 2002. I know it's not called TNA anymore. It's Impact Wrestling. But you know, I was a fan of TNA. I don't watch Impact now, not because I just don't have the channel that they're on. I think they're on Access TV. I had Pop TV, and I used to watch it when it was on Pop TV, and of course on Spike TV. But I don't have Access TV, so I can't really watch the program. So I'm not like I don't know what's going on really. I only follow it through like on the internet. So let's go off. So the first Slammiversary DVD I have is from all the way from 2012. So this is like the 10-year anniversary of the company. This is the card, and you see interesting cover here. You have the names, I guess, of all the wrestlers that were ever in TNA. So they're listed over here. So let's go to 2012. We're in the Hulk Hogan, Eric Bischoff era still. So the main event, Bobby Roode against Sting. Bobby Roode, at the time, longest reigning TNA champion. It's kind of funny when you look at the wrestlers here. Most of them have moved on, to other companies. You look at Bobby Roode, in WWE now, he has success in NXT. Right now, in the main roster, I don't know if you call him a flop, but not being used as as good as he was, in TNA. Look at this match for the Ring of Honor, for the TNA World Tag Championships. Christopher Daniels and Kazarian defending against AJ Styles and Kurt Angle. I remember that being a really good match. This was when AJ Styles was 2012. So yeah, I was just thinking that. Now that was a year after when he had that gimmick when he was like, when he would have like the hood and he was like on a contract, did the whole thing, the whole like storyline when he's not under contract and all that, and being like kind of like a lone wolf. I think that was a year later. Then we also have Austin Aries against Samoa Joe for the TNA X Division Championship. So this is basically a month before Austin Aries like blew up in front of everybody, becoming like the main guy, and then he has option C at the next pay-per-view at Destination X, and he forfeits his the X Division title to challenge for the heavyweight title and beats Bobby Roode. So that's the whole beginning of that. I think in 2012, things were changing because I the way that I guess the booking was like Bobby Roode I think was set up to defend the title against James Storm at Bound for Glory, and I think that James Storm was supposed to win the title at Bound for Glory that year, but I think things changed and they went with Austin Aries and then Jeff Hardy, so it was weird. So 2013 we got Slammiversary 11 here. This is main events, Sting against Bully Ray. There we go. This is the back cover. You see some of the matches here. I guess I should open this up. I get two DVDs here. Not sure why there's two DVDs. I guess there's bonus features on one of them. So looking back, again, Sting is in the main event. I think nowadays, I think some people might forget about Sting's, matches in TNA. He had some, we think about WCW and his brief, stint in WWE. I think sometimes we forget about his time in TNA, and I mean, he was, he had some really good matches. This is during the Bully Ray push. You could say, like, I mean, I say that Bully Ray was probably in 2013 was probably one of the best wrestlers in the entire like world. That heel character, I mean, you just hated him, and him being the leader of the Aces of Eight. I think he definitely, if there was getting awards, Wrestlers of the Year 2013, Bully Ray definitely should have won that award. Definitely was probably one of their best champions. I always like it. TNA was really good. Having that heel champion, kind of like back in the NWA days, early 80s, with like Ric Flair being like the heel champion. Sometimes it works better in the wrestling world where you have like the heel champion and you have the baby face chasing for the title, and then they finally beat the heel and they win the championship. It's like a big payoff at the end. So this is during the Aces of Eight angle, which I think is kind of like supposedly, like, I mean, the mystery angle that they had, where okay, who's going to join Aces of Eight? Who's behind the masks and stuff? Kind of like the NWO angle of like like either 96, 97, where I mean, it's like the mystery of who's the next person, who's the third person, who's the fourth person that's going to join the NWO. That's kind of like how they were trying to do what they were trying to do with the Aces of Eight. I don't think it worked out as well. I think, but I give them credit for trying to like build a mystery. So here, some of the quick matches: Kurt Angle versus AJ Styles. For the tag titles, we have Chavo Guerrero and Hernandez versus James Storm and Gunner against Bad Influence, against Austin Aries and Bobby Roode. TNA Television Championship, Devon defending against Joseph Park. So you got some really good matches here. Next one I got 2015 Slammiversary. So originally back in like the early TNA with the Slammiversary pay-per-views, they used to have this match called the King of the Mountain match. The King of the Mountain match was kind of like it's kind of like a reverse ladder match. In a typical ladder match, climb the ladder, you get either the belt, briefcase, wherever that's hanging above the ring. That's the purpose of the match. You have to get it. With the King of the Mountain match, you have to actually put the belt on, climb the ladder and put the belt on the hook, and then you win. And then also, if you get pinned during the match, you have to go into they had like a penalty box, and you have to go into the penalty box for like 2 minutes. So that was kind of like their gimmick for the pay-per-view for the first couple of years. So Slammiversary 2015 was kind of the return of the King of the Mountain match, and they had like the King of the Mountain belt, which was the TNA. It was like a belt that TNA changed every week they would change the name of the belt. Originally it was the Global belt, then it was the Television belt, and then now it's the King of the Mountain belt. So here's the card. This is during the period when Jeff Jarrett came back to the company, and Jeff Jarrett was working on another promotion. He was trying to get on TV, was Global Force Wrestling. I don't know if you remember that Global Force Wrestling. I remember if you followed Jeff Jarrett on like Instagram or social media, he would be promoting that company and saying that wrestling is, we're in the boom period of wrestling. It's a good time to be a wrestling fan. We got all these good wrestlers. We got the fans. It's going to be like the boom period, just like how it was in the late '90s. Unfortunately, like I guess they could never get a TV deal or issues, but they were never able to like get that get that going. They did tape shows in Vegas. I think they did like some tapings there, and I think TNA for a while was selling those DVDs, but they never were able to find a TV deal. I guess they couldn't get like somebody that was like rich to back them up. So this is like a return. So again, they have the King of the Mountain, match. I think for this pay per view they were having some issues with. I think something happened where there. I guess the production wasn't like got knocked out or something, and they had to redo some of the matches on actual Impact. So because there is a note on here, like there's like some matches were rebroadcast on Impact because I guess there was some audio issues or something. Uh, so yeah, I mean, this is like because this is like when like Jeff Jarrett was trying to bring like GFW, and they were trying to have like a feud, like an interpromotional feud between like GFW and Impact or TNA. Um, and then eventually, like, Jeff was out, and then TNA was going through all these like they did like these changes. Like Billy Corgan was in, and he was making starting to book the company, and then he was out. It was just like a strange period. So and then we have my last TNA Slammiversary DVD is from 2016. Look at this, Drew Galloway against Bobby Lashley. That was the main event to the last WWE pay per view. That was for the TNA title. And then we also have the start of the broken Matt Hardy gimmick, and he fought Jeff Hardy. So again, with the broken Matt Hardy gimmick, I always say it was most successful in TNA. I think TNA was like he had creative control, and he was able to really explore with that character. And they had some really good, when they did the Total Deletion and all those like events. I think that it was very successful. Not compared to when he went to WWE. I just think that for me personally, I think the gimmick has ran its course. I think when he went to WWE, Vince McMahon only saw him, wanted the original Hardy Boys from like the early 2000s, what WWE fans remembered them as, and he didn't really understand the broken character. And I think it was too late when they decided to switch him over to the Woken Matt Hardy, and he feuded with Bray Wyatt. I think it might have been a little bit too late. I think but now he's in AEW, and he's kind of doing like the what Mick Foley did when he had the Three Faces of Foley, where it was like Dude Love, Cactus Jack, and Mankind. So now Matt Hardy's kind of the broken character. The what's the other character? He has like Money Matt Hardy, and then Extreme Matt Hardy, or he has like the three different like characters now. So yeah, I mean, this is like basically 2016 was like you look at this, TNA definitely going through that changing of the guard, like with the new owners. I don't think they got the new owners yet. I think this is still under the TNA umbrella. It was until I think like 2017 or 2018 when they officially dropped the TNA name. So like you look at most of these guys are in WWE. Like Drew Galloway, Drew McIntyre, Lashley's in WWE. The Bromans, Robbie E is in NXT as Robert Stone. EC3, let go. Are we going to see a possible return this Saturday with EC3 and Impact? And that's who knows. James Storm is not. A lot of these guys. I mean, you look at the talent that TNA had, and you're like, well, what happened? They had such the talent they had, and now they're just like It's weird when you think about the AJ Styles, Bobby Roode, Austin Aries, Christopher Daniels, Matt Hardy, Jeff Hardy, Bobby Lashley, Drew McIntyre, all the people that were under the TNA umbrella, and then all of a sudden it's right now. I mean, they're a watered down company. I feel like maybe this is a chance with maybe they were going to be making a comeback. Just looking at all the guys that have been released from WWE, if they can somehow get those guys under contract, and I'm talking about they could definitely have a really good roster. So that's pretty much it, and thanks for watching.